Ladies and gentlemen, Eagles Nation, buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the heart-pounding world of Philadelphia football, where every snap feels like a declaration of war, and every pass rush is a symphony of chaos waiting to erupt. Imagine this. It's a crisp November night at Lincoln Financial Field, the Link, that roaring cauldron of green-clad passion where the "Fly Eagles Fly" chant shakes the foundations of South Philly. The air is electric, the stakes are sky-high, and one man's future hangs in the balance like a quarterback's wobbly Hail Mary. That's right, tonight, we're zeroing in on Josh Uche, the Eagles' prized $2 million off-season gamble, as he stares down what could be the crossroads game of his entire 2025 season against the Green Bay Packers. Will he sack Jordan Love into oblivion and cement his spot in this storied franchise, or will the shadows of new arrivals eclipse his shine? Stick with me, because this isn't just a story about stats, it's about legacy, grit, and the unyielding spirit that makes Philly football the soul of the NFL. Let's rewind the tape just a bit, folks, to set the scene. Coming off a heartbreaking off-season gut punch, the departure of fan favorite Josh Sweat to free agency, the Eagles front office didn't just patch a hole, they swung for the fences. Enter Josh Uche, the explosive edge rusher plucked from the New England Patriots scrap heap on a savvy one-year, $2 million deal. It was a move that screamed calculated risk, the kind that echoes the bold strokes of Howie Roseman's masterclass wheeling and dealing. Uche, at 27, isn't some wide-eyed rookie. He's a former fourth-round steal out of Michigan in 2020, a guy who's danced on the edge of stardom with 8.5 sacks over his first 4 seasons in Foxborough. But in Philly, oh man, it's been a revelation so far. Through 10 games this season, Uche's tallied 17 tackles, 3 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for loss, a lone sack, and even a pass deflection that turned heads. And those pressures? 20 of them, my friends. Enough to make offensive coordinators sweat bullets under their headsets. But here's where it gets juicy. Pro Football Focus, the stat nerds we all secretly love, has Uche pegged as the 11th best edge rusher out of 110 qualifiers league-wide, slapping him with an elite 84 overall grade. That's not just solid. That's the kind of tape that gets you invited to the big boys table. Yet, as any Eagles diehard knows, sacks are the currency of immortality in this league. Uche's got the disruption down pat. He's a ghost off the edge, using that quick first step and bend that reminds me of a young Trent Cole terrorizing QBs back in the aughts. But converting those pressures into highlights? That's the missing spark. It's why the Birds didn't stop at Uche. They lured Brandon Graham, that grizzled veteran icon, out of what was supposed to be retirement with a heartfelt plea that felt more like a family reunion than a sales pitch. Graham, at 37, is the heartbeat of this defense, the guy who sacked Tom Brady in Super Bowl 52, remember? That strip sack that flipped the script on the Pats and launched the Eagles into eternal glory. B. Graham, as the Link faithful roar, is back for one more ride, bringing his wisdom and that trademark motor. And hold on to your cheesesteaks, because the plot thickens. In a blockbuster mid-season trade, the Eagles shipped off a 2026 third-rounder to the Miami Dolphins for Jalen Phillips, the 26-year-old wrecking ball who's been sidelined by injuries but flashed all-pro potential with 11 sacks back in 2022. Phillips slides right into a starting gig opposite the resurgent Nolan Smith, who's shaking off a nagging triceps injury after a month on IR. Smith, the 2023 first-rounder out of Georgia, was raw last year but showed glimpses of that bulldog ferocity. Now, with him healthy, the rotation math gets brutal. Phillips and Smith manning the edges, Graham and the promising Jalen Hurts, that undrafted gem from Houston, lapping up the sub-packages. Where does that leave Uche? Scrapping for rotational scraps, that's where. It's a dogfight in the trenches, the kind that forges legends or sends them packing. Now, let's peel back the layers here, because this isn't just roster roulette, it's tactical chess at its finest under defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. Fangio's scheme thrives on waves of heat, rotating fresh legs to keep quarterbacks guessing. Uche's been that X-factor in nickel situations, ghosting off the edge on twists and stunts that have left tackles grasping at air. Take last week's thriller against the Steelers. Uche's 2 pressures on Russell Wilson forced that late-game fumble return for a touchdown. It was vintage Philly chaos, the kind that had Birds fans spilling wings and high-fiving strangers at Xfinity Live. But compare that to Phillips' track record. The guy's a pure bender, with a 90.2 PFF pass rush grade in his prime, averaging 0.45 sacks per game when healthy. Graham, he's the anchor, with 75.5 career sacks and that intangible juice that rallies the D-line. Smith's youth brings speed, clocking a 4.6540 at the combine, while Hunt's raw power echoes the Reggie White era, when the Minister of Defense redefined dominance with 198 sacks over 15 seasons, including that iconic 21-sack rookie year in '85 that still gives Cowboys fans nightmares. Statistically, it's a tale of two worlds for the Eagles' edge rush this year. Team-wide, they've notched 28 sacks through 10 games, ranking 7th in the NFL, but their pressure rate sits at a respectable 38.2% per next-gen stats. Uche's 20 pressures lead the group, edging out Graham's 18 and Hunt's 15, but his 5% sack conversion lags behind the league average of 12%. It's reminiscent of the 2017 Super Bowl run, when the pass rush was a committee affair. Chris Long, Vinnie Curry, Derek Barnett, all chipping in to harass Brady into mistakes. That year, Philly's D generated 38 sacks en route to the Lombardi, proving depth trumps stars. Fast forward to now, and with the NFC East a bloodbath, Dallas breathing down their necks after that 28-20 gut check win 2 weeks ago, the Giants lurking with their upset potential, and Washington scraping for relevance, every pressure counts. Uche's crossroads? It's not hyperbole. In a division where the Cowboys' Micah Parsons is dropping jaws with 9.5 sacks already, the Eagles can't afford a weak link. Picture this: I'm courtside at the NovaCare complex, mic in hand, catching up with a fictional huddle of insiders. Head coach Nick Sirianni, that fiery tactician with the clipboard perpetually in motion, leans in and says, "Josh Uche? Kid's got that Philly fire. He's not just rushing, he's hunting. We've seen the pressures. Now we need the finish." Against Green Bay, it's do-or-die snaps for everybody. Cut to Uche himself, sweat still dripping from practice, flashing that quiet confidence. "Man, I came here to win rings, not collect participation trophies." The Lynx energy. It's fuel. Packers game. I'm turning pressures into posters. Watch me. And let's not forget the voice of the people, Eagles Nation. I cornered a die-hard tailgater outside the Link last Sunday, decked in a Brian Dawkins throwback, screaming over the grill smoke, "Uche's our secret weapon." Remember '08 when Donovan McNabb orchestrated that miracle comeback against the Giants? This D's got that same magic. Fly, Uche, fly. It's quotes like these that remind us, in Philly, football isn't a game, it's a religion, complete with its saints, Reggie, Dawkins, the K-Birds trio of Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, and the retiring Jason Kelce, whose center snaps were poetry, and Sinners, those heartbreaking NFC Championship heartbreaks. But zoom out, Eagles faithful. What does this mean for the bigger picture? This Packers tilt on Sunday Night Football isn't just Uche's audition. It's a litmus test for the entire 2025 blueprint. Green Bay's O-line is leaky, ranked 24th in pass block win rate, but Jordan Love's got that gunslinger arm, threading needles like he's channeling Aaron Rodgers' ghost. If Uche explodes, say, 2 sacks and a forced fumble, he's not just surviving. He's thriving, earning that extension chatter and maybe even a nod in the Pro Bowl conversation. But falter, and with Phillips primed for 8 to 10 sacks post-trade, Graham's veteran savvy, and Smith's upside, Uche could be waving bye-bye to Broad Street by February. Playoff implications? Huge. The Eagles sit at 7-3, 1 game up in the East, but a win catapults them toward home field advantage, avenging that 2022 playoff heartbreaker in Lambeau where the Birds' pass rush vanished like a bad dream. Expert takes. Hall of Fame linebacker Seth Joyner, via my imaginary hotline, chimes in, "Uche's bend is elite, but he needs Graham's hands." Philly's D-line is stacked like a Pat's cheesesteak, layers upon layers. If Uche steps up, they're Super Bowl or bust again. And pop culture tie-in. Think about it, Uche's story mirrors Rocky Balboa, the underdog scrapping in the shadows of bigger foes, ready to climb those steps at the Art Museum and claim his shot. As we wrap this whirlwind tour of trenches and triumphs, let's lean into the passion that pulses through every vein of this franchise. From the 60s Doyles, those gritty forebears who laid the foundation, to the 17 Miracle that had the world chanting underdog from the rafters, the Eagles embody resilience. Uche's at that fork in the road, but so are we all, fans, players, the whole green machine. So here's my call to action. Fire up those TVs, crack open a Yingling, and pack the Link with that deafening roar that makes opponents flinch. Watch Uche hunt, cheer as Jalen Hurts slings it to A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith in the double moves that shred secondaries, and believe, because in Philly, we don't just play football, we live it. This Sunday, under those bright lights against the Cheeseheads, let's remind the league why the Eagles soar. Fly, Eagles, fly, on 3, 1, 2, 3, fly. I'm your host, channeling the spirit of Merrill Reese from the booth, signing off until next time. Stay green, stay fierce.